keep my energy calibrated. Only show up so they know I made it. On my time mentally hydrated. When I touch down, they celebrating. I keep my energy calibrated. Only show up so they know I made it. On my time mentally hydrated. When I touch down, they celebrating. I keep my energy.
Welcome back to a new episode of the Fourth Quarter Talk with yours truly, your girl, the one and only Coco Renee, and my boy, the real King Covenant. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the real Coco Renee and at the real King Covenant. This is episode 2, Fourth Quarter Talk. Let's get it. All right, so thank you again for joining me here on the Fourth Quarter. King Covenant, I appreciate you taking out the time, bruh. And I'm going to go ahead and get into these questions. Just let me know at any point if you can't hear me, if, for some reason I sound a little too low, and I'll repeat myself. Now, I want to make sure that also the audience who's listening can also hear me. So we have King Covenant who is calling in on the line. We are doing our second episode or technically our first episode of the fourth quarter. And we're going to go a little bit in depth of why we believe people are so threatened by blacks, okay? And then we'll kind of elaborate, and what we'll do is we will start with this particular narrative, on this episode, and we'll open up, for the second episode after this to get a little bit far more in depth of this topic, because it does run really deep. So I know that we can't cover everything in one shot. Do you agree?
I agree.
All right, so King Covenant, again, thank you, bruh. So the first question I have to you, in your light, why do you believe that white folks, let's start with the white folks, why do you believe they feel so threatened by blacks? Give me your perspective on that.
Well, they've always been in fear of a black planet. When you look back into the mark of history, the whole taking of us from our continent, all those things, we don't want to get too deep off into that right now, but the fear of the black planet per se, I always tell people, be very meticulous when you watch the movie Planet of the Apes. And I always say this jokingly, but seriously, on a note, when they made that movie about us. Lee yourself can go up to the main architect of Hollywood and say he would like to produce a movie, and they're laughing out of Hollywood. If he ever say he want to produce a movie where they show nothing but black people on the planet, not a white person on the face of the earth, they would rather show a movie called Planet of the Apes before they would ever show a movie like that. And the reason why is because their fear of the unknown. White people have been studying us since the beginning of their time, because they don't understand us as a people. They don't understand themselves. Most white people don't even know who they are, where they come from, their heritage, their culture. The average white person, you can ask them on the street, why do you call white people Caucasian? Why are you called Caucasian? And they can't tell you why. They just know that they're called Caucasian, right? Core than prejudice. Prejudice is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Racism is it's like you were born in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in your blood. I'll give you an example. I had a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he was a real good friend of mine, white guy, like one of the best guys I could ever meet, regardless of what race of people. We got along very well. I worked with him at UPS, and he really, very intriguing individual. He was really enthusiastic about trying to understand black people, but he never really truly had anybody black around him that he ever felt comfortable with talking to about certain issues until he met me. This discussion with me about it, and maybe it enlightened you a little bit more to understand the walk of a black person. It's not like I didn't choose to be here. You know what I'm saying? My people didn't choose to be here. We didn't choose to be brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? We didn't choose to be, and he was like, what do you mean brainwashed? Because in most people's eyes, if you look at the fabric of white society, or society as a whole, I won't say white society, society as a whole, even though we know who it's controlled by, the society at large, from my perspective, society gives you an illusion of everybody has something, you know. And when you see people poor, they're poor because they didn't make the right choices in life, or they didn't do the right thing, or they didn't get the right information. And they'll never get it right because it's not meant to get it right. When this world is brought to its knees, this country, America, whatever, so be it, by the hands of God, it will be because of the deeds that man has done. The evil deeds, you know, not the good deeds.
Right.
So racism as a whole should not exist, but it does exist, and it exists to perpetuate hatred. That's all racism is hatred. If I'm racist towards somebody, it means I don't like them. Why do I not like them? I don't even know them.
Okay.
If anything, we can share dialogue and get to know each other, but instead, these people refuse to want to get to know us in a righteous way. They want to get to know us like they did Jesus and said, you know, if you're the Son of God, make the sky open up. But God put us all on one planet, right? All races on one planet. And I believe that's truly so that we could find a way to coexist, come together in harmony as one race of people. And I know that this has to be God's plan because the Illuminati know they trying to do it. They trying to bring in the New World Order, right? Which is the opposite, right? It was just forcing people into a one world government or one world everything, right? One currency of the world, you know, everything. So if they know that it's something that has to do with God's plan is to unite as to one, right? Is to bring everything into one. So they're just doing it from the opposite spectrum because this world is ran by Satan and Satan.
I keep my energy calibrated. Only show up so they know I made it. On my time mentally, I ain't traded. When I touch down, they celebrating. I keep my energy calibrated. Only show up so they know I made it.